I've been a Civitian since 2013. I guess it's about maybe 9 years. I've been the president, president-elect, back and forth. We have a small club, but we're strong and we keep going. I'm married to the former Governor Bill Lowe, and I just love Civitian. You know, I'm a special ed assistant for 21 years. I love working with children or people with disabilities. I love Scarlett's demonstration because our service projects should focus on people with intellectual disabilities, because that's what Civitian is. So we need to go out and look who needs help. You know, go to your art, go to your whomever, you know, community living, and we need to do fundraisers to help those in need. So thank you.
My name is Kendra Lumley. I am the governor-elect of Chesapeake District. I have been a part of Civitian for 13 years. Sometimes I feel like I'm a newbie, but many times I feel like I'm an old timer. But I am born and raised originally from Newport News, Virginia. I'm very proud of my city, and I love to represent my city at all times. And from the great state of Virginia, I also like to represent Virginia, 2 up, 2 down, as young folks do. Chris Brown, actually. I am a person who is very passionate of working with people with disabilities. I have been doing advocacy work for more than 17 years and currently work for a nonprofit. And we support students with disabilities, their families, and professionals to navigate the special education system in the state of Virginia. So previously I've worked as a provider in a nonprofit world, working with adults with disabilities. So I have a passion and a love, and I will have to say, I forgot to put this disclaimer in initially, I'm kind of not myself really. This past weekend I've been struggling with a little bit of a headache, so I do apologize if I seem a little bit kind of reserved, a little bit more laid back, because I'm trying to get myself through and not overdo too much with myself, because I could be a lot. And I could do the most. Right now, this Kendra that you're seeing is just a little small portion of who she really is and her personality. Thank you. I have a witness. But I'm super, super grateful and thankful to be here with you all and to meet everybody and to be able to fellowship and spend time with you all. And I just look forward to what is to come. Because as you know, we are believing right now, we believe that that dream is going to be amazing. And so super excited about that. So a little bit about Chesapeake. Next slide. You want to talk about some of this?
We have
I'm very impromptu, so sorry.
Yeah, we have all these states in our district. We have 23 clubs total within all these states, and we have 511 members total.
So last year, we as the Chesapeake District, New England came in with us. So we became a bigger happy family because we were already a family as Chesapeake. New England came in, we became a bigger happy family. And now that we're going to be coming in with you guys, we're going to be a bigger, happier family. So we're super excited about that. So we are to the tippy top of our East Coast, coming down to Virginia, and then coming over to part of West Virginia as well. So we do have clubs in almost every state. But you know, if you know someone in the state that needs a Civitian club, let us know. Talk to Denise and Mark. Because they're going to be the club building people. And John too. Yes, John is going to be, well, the potential of, yes, to be that person. So if you guys know of anyone, we're going to start building and making that foundation bigger and better. Next slide, please. So right here is just a slide of all the clubs that, this was at the beginning of the Civitian year. So we have clubs in almost every state, but not all. So we're missing Jersey, New York. I don't know.
You don't remember?
No, Delaware, DC, Rhode Island, Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire. So if you know of anybody, or if you know, we'll look at this and add some numbers, and if you know anyone in those states, let's add them in. Yes, so Ginger talked about that. So Our clubs, you want me to just keep on?
Sure.
Okay. So these are not a list of all the clubs that we currently have in our Chesapeake district. But what we wanted to highlight were some of our longer standing clubs. So our Baltimore club last year celebrated 100 years as being a Civitan club, which I thought was amazing. There's a lot of great, rich history in the Baltimore club that's connected to Civitan International. And like I said, I've been at Civitan 13 years, but sometimes I feel like I'm still a newbie because I'm still learning new things. And it's just amazing how, and I would say Dr. Shire was a part of the Baltimore club, and those who have been at Civitan for a very long time are very familiar with that name. And the legacy impact that this club has had, and he has had as well within Civitan International is very phenomenal to me in my eyes, and to hopefully to many of you all. After that club, we have the Annapolis Club that started in 1926. So they have a couple years before they hit that 100 mark. Arlington Club started in 1940, followed by the Frederick Club that was started in 1947. That was a good year. That was the year my mommy was born. Thomas Jefferson Club was in 1957, and My Beautiful Wonderful Club. We celebrated, what was that, 60 years, a couple years ago, because Crystal was able to be there for that, in 1959. Fairfax Club in 1962, and the Martinsburg Club in 1964.
Chartered by the Frederick.
You saw what?
Chartered by the Frederick.
Chartered by the Frederick Club. Thank you for that, Joann. So I feel like there's a strong stability, and those clubs are still going, which is a beautiful thing, in which we look forward to see how clubs are continuously to build and to grow. Next slide. Some club projects that we currently have going on within our district. We have cornhole tournaments. A lot of us are connected with our food banks, so we're helping those in our community to help for our underprivileged, underserved people who are struggling. There's a lot of people struggling with a lot of things, but we know that food shortages is something that impacts a lot of us. Homeless outreach from working, doing homeless bingo with people in the community, also along with working with shelters as well. To spread that love of Civitan, karaoke opportunities for people with disabilities in the community, providing them an opportunity to come outside, come out of their shell a lot of times. Karaoke and that microphone can be very powerful for some people. Music is therapy. Music is awesome. Little free libraries, as well of having the library books. That's what it is. Yeah. The library books around the community provide that opportunity for people to have that good literacy and have an opportunity to get books. Working with playgrounds that are accessible for people with disabilities who may utilize a wheelchair or may not have full range of motion to be able to utilize playgrounds to the best of their abilities. Therapeutic writing programs. We do White House ornament sales, yard sales. We have connections, some of our clubs have connections with cities and working with them for some of their events as fundraising opportunities as well. We would love to invite you guys to our Chesapeake District Convention that will be taking place September 9th and 10th in Harrisburg, Virginia. And I just threw some pictures up here because we love hanging with each other. We had a good time in Ocean City because we hadn't seen each other for a while, number one. But number two, we just like to hang out with each other. We had our hospitality room was going. We had karaoke taking place. It was a good time. So we are excited about September. We are hoping that you will be able to join us as we continue that fellowship. We work in the name of Civitan. We may not go to bed at a decent hour, but it's okay. And that's what makes the fellowship so much wonderful at Chesapeake District. Yes, John.
I understand that Harrisburg has been moved to Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Yes, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Well, don't see the VA there. I was just, it may be because I'm missing home. I have not been home since Tuesday, so I'm missing my house. And I'm testing you. Yeah, I'm missing Virginia so bad. Next slide. So for some of you guys were able to join us virtually and in person at the convention in San Antonio, and it was just a really wonderful time. So I just wanted to share the pictures that we have of Cardinal and the Chesapeake district. And can you go to the next slide? Because even though we are separate, we are now one. And I'm super excited about us joining together. So yeah, October 1 hasn't happened yet, but guess what? We already got a picture of our region. So I think it's a beautiful thing. And it's really Thank you for taking over the microphone. I'm gonna hand it back over to her. Thank you.
And that's Kendra toned down.
Yeah, that's her now. She's feeling well. But, you know, we need that energy. I mean, I just, you know, we need that. So I just want to thank you again for the invitation. And I can't wait till we join as one. We're one now, you know. So just thank you.
Thank you.
And we're on. Okay. Thank you guys. Joann, are we on? Everybody's good on that
They
side?
can see you and they can see you.
Perfect. All right. Woo! We made it! If you want to go to the next slide. please. $5. So as I said, as John introduced me, thank you, John. I'm Denise Phelps. I am the Region 4 Director, and I am a member of the Martinsburg Civitan Club. So kind of feel like I'm almost in the Cardinal District, being from West Virginia. I know we are the Panhandle, kind of out there on our own, but certainly love being part of West Virginia. And I feel a little bit like an honorary one. But I really, you know, I want to start off by saying how so I'm also the chauffeur of the international president-elect and your Chesapeake governor-elect, because I got to drive yesterday. And it was amazing when we walked into the hotel. It felt like coming home, honestly. Everyone was so nice and surrounded us and made us feel welcome. So thank you all for making us feel like we were already part of your family. Thank you. So I have a lot to cover today, so if you want next slide, please. But I will try to make it quick. I know John put me at the end of the day, hopefully, because I've had a lot of coffee. And so I'll try to keep this moving quickly. But I do have a lot of exciting things to share. So I'm going to talk about what happened at International Convention. Joann covered so much, but just a little bit about what this means for the district, Cardinal, Chesapeake District, and the region that you all know we are going into as a combined family. And also to talk about what that kind of means to you. You know, what does a consolidation look like? What is the regional council? Kind of explain that a little bit more in depth. And then I'm going to share with you some of the really cool outcomes that came out of the focus groups that we started. I guess we launched those in March, April timeframe, and then ran those until May, June. And I've got a lot of exciting things to share that came out of those. And those focus groups were a joint effort already. We were working together, you know, to figure out how we could better support Civitan and our mission in our community. So thank you for everyone that was part of it. And then I've got a really cool initiative to share with you guys that we're going to launch as a part of how we stay connected and share information next year. So with that, I'll go ahead and get started. So first of all, regional restructure. And I know you guys have probably seen this slide on a million different things, but I just wanted to take a second to talk about why I think the regional restructure is probably the coolest thing I've seen come out of Civitan in my 20. Joann, what are you?
You're 20.
Okay, she's 21, I'm 20, always a year behind her. Out of my last 2 decades of being part of Civitan is that we finally took a look at leadership for folks and asked people to sign up and be a part of things that really spoke to what their passions are and where their skill sets lie. So we've got 6 different focus areas that we'll be working on as we go through this regional restructure. And those are member development, member engagement, junior Civitan, philanthropy, communications, marketing, planning, and procedures. And I'll talk a little bit more about what each one of those are. But we are, as you can see just from the chart here, we will have kind of, and I'm calling them the chief cat herder, because basically anybody that signs up as a chair of these focus areas is just really going to be working with a group of passionate civitans in these areas and just making sure that they have what they need and that everybody's on the same page and kind of heading in the same direction together. So and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But one of the things I want to make sure is very clear about the regional restructure is I know there's been a little bit of confusion about the money. So I just want to make sure that that is very clear to everybody that instead of paying district dues starting October 1st, you will actually be paying regional dues. And those will be coming from Civitan International. So, in the past, they came from a district officer, district treasurer for your billing. You'll get that as part of your international dues. So a lot of people said, well, does that mean that international is now getting our district money that we were giving to the district to do things locally? Are they now getting the money? And the answer is absolutely 100% no. It is coming right back to our region. And it's going to be spent in the areas, these 6 focus areas. Because what we want to do is make sure that we're asking people to try new things, to do things a little differently, but that has to come with some funding and support financially. So all of you, all the money that your members and your clubs are sending to international is getting brought right back and allocated and used in the local region. And you'll hear how that's going to be done in a couple of minutes. So any questions about restructures? Anybody have any questions? Who's super excited about it? Yay! Who's not sure yet?
And it's okay if you're not.
And it's okay, absolutely, Kendra. It is okay if you're not, because this is something that is.
We can't read the blue chart, so if you go talking what's inside those, please identify them, because we can't read them.
Absolutely.
And I'm sitting up front.
So, thank you so much. So these are, so imagine that says region 4, not region 1. So this is what each of the areas, and just as an illustration so that you don't think, oh, that's the person who's going to do it all. You've got civitans that'll be working underneath each of those areas to coordinate the efforts of that specific focus area. Does that help kind of explain?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and
White
this is
bullet,
just
I don't want to
region
add
two
it
of
either.
this
They might mistake
Each
it.
region is going to have their own kind of team of people underneath each of those focus areas. Great question. Thank you for asking that. Any questions about that specifically? All right, so let's talk about what's going on, what's happening in each of those areas.
So Denise, we can put your name up there as region 1. Instead of region 1, region 4.
Region
Denise.
4 is me. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
I guess I technically would be the chief cat herder and everybody else is cat herding under that. Keeping everybody organized and making sure they have a thing. So these 6 areas, member development chair, this is really around, and you've heard Joann talk about, and even Kendra talk about growth and how important that is. So we're going to have a dedicated team working towards building new Civitan clubs, which is certainly important, but also helping to support our clubs and just growing the clubs that they have. So that'll involve, relationship building training, recruitment training, building new clubs, and something Joann talked about. I'm super excited about is the family club, because we have to figure out what the needs of this next generation coming up, future Civitans, need and what they want and how they want to engage with us and how they want to solve the needs of their community. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how that goes. And so fingers crossed, send your prayers for me as we get started with something new. Member engagement chair, and that's something where, we know that the most important part and why we all are Civitans is about impacting the community. So this group will be working on how do we engage our members, how do we give them opportunities to serve, how do we share best practices of, and this is where working together is really important, because we've already heard things that are happening in the Cardinal district that we're going to, use in clubs in the Chesapeake district and vice versa. So it's through this idea sharing about figuring out how do we make more impact in our communities and how do we support our clubs and members as they do that. So really exciting. Junior Civitan chair, you've already heard Jeannie and Carmen share their vision. Incredible. And I really want to do really an amazing shout out to these 2 ladies, because I can tell you the adult Civitans were deliberating for 2 years about what this was going to look like, and Carol certainly before me was working to figure out how to make this all work and really set us up for success and sustainability for the next 100 years. So there's a Civitan for all of our great grandchildren to still be a part of. But Carmen and Jeannie didn't wait. They said, we see the vision, we want to make this happen, and we'd like to move forward. So I commend them for taking the lead, stepping out there first and saying, we're gonna try this out. So if they're on, thank you, two ladies. You're amazing, and I know only good things are going to happen under your leadership. And in addition to that, it's always cool to be the first one because you get to create the playbook. So thank you.
Next slide.
Thank you. All right, so the next one is our philanthropy ambassador, and this is really to support our CIRC, our Light the Way, President's Council, all of the giving programs that we have that serve our mission. And I want to also kind of highlight that we've got a lot of strength in this area coming out of both the Cardinal and the Chesapeake district. Al just came up and gave out a bunch of awards because this is very meaningful. We know that our CIRC is one of the things that sets Civitan apart from other service organizations. So how do we enhance that support? How do we make sure that CIRC has what they need to continue to change the world for people with disabilities for generations to come? Communications and marketing. So this is really, I love to say, I've heard since I became Civitan 20 years ago, Civitan is the best kept secret for service organizations in our communities. That needs to end. We need to stop being the best kept secret and just being the best. So that is going to be something, as you heard, Joann International is working on, but regionally, what can we do? How can we support our clubs and members getting the name of Civitan out there so that we're not a secret anymore, we're just the best. And then lastly, planning and procedures. This is the one that I do still am taking applications for. I know one is coming in. And just to let you know, the other 5, we already have at least one person that has applied to be, kind of the head of this focus area. So that doesn't certainly discourage you from applying. If any of this sounds amazing to you and you want to be the cat herder of that group, feel free to apply. September 1st is the deadline, and we'd love to see more people be involved. But being the leader doesn't mean, not being the leader doesn't mean that you can't be a part. We really would love to hear from each of you and the things or thing that you're most passionate about. So please, offer your support, because everything that you do in supporting this effort is going to go back to the clubs and members and supporting them. So please, something kind of hit you in the head and said, oh man, I'd love to do that. That'd be super fun. Please let us know, because we would love to have this. All right. Any questions before I move into focus groups? I know this is the end of the day, guys. I am so proud of you for hanging in there. Thank you. All right. So we, as I said, led these focus groups because as kind of the rest of international, and I really just want to say this, I am blessed to be the Region 4 International Director, more than anyone in this room, barring Carol Wolters and Joann, probably understand. And the reason that I am blessed is because I get to lead an incredibly passionate group of Civitans who put the mission of the organization first before their own personal needs. As we started this process, there has been, and if you don't know, I'm here to tell you, there has been a lot of surprising opposition. There's been a lot of people, a lot of uncertainty, maybe misalignment in some cases, and just resistance to change. And I want to thank each one of you that said it's okay that the playbook has not been created. We're willing to take the first step without seeing the entire staircase, Martin Luther King. And that is one of the things I cannot tell you when I go into these meetings, and when John and Tony and Kendra and Ginger said, it's okay that it's uncertain, it's okay that it's unknown, We know something has to change. We're willing to figure it out. We're going on this journey together and we're going to make it better. And that is exactly what your leadership team has done. So kudos to them, kudos to you. I know it's not easy, but honestly, it's what is necessary, and great, wonderful things will come out of the other side when you focus on your mission, where you want to go, and then you figure out how to get there using the talents and abilities of the people that are passionate with you. So that was evidenced by our focus groups that we started. We said, we're not going to wait for all of this bylaws and everything to get started. We need to get to work today. And that's what your team did. So I know some of you were on those focus group calls. Thank you for your participation. Great ideas came out of it. And believe me, that was, trying to prioritize. We had a ton of great ideas, a ton of great feedback. And so this is what we came up with that was realistic, that we could deliver within the next 12 to 16 months, and that would be beneficial to your clubs. So the first one in marketing and communications, have your eyes open for a survey that is coming. We understood, I know International has their survey coming. Please don't fill ours out, not theirs, or theirs and not ours. Ours is really specific to what does the region need? What do you as a club member need to be able to be successful in each of those areas? So just watch for that. And then that'll be your opportunity to sign up and say, I want to be part of all six, right? I want to do something in all six because you're amazing and have an amount of time that is imperceptible to me. But yeah, that if you have that time and that passion, please go, sign up for all of them. But if you only have one or two, let us know that, because we'll make sure that you stay in touch with everything that is happening as it's happening. Because we want to make sure that you're aware of everything. Sorry, go back. PR training, you heard that from Civic International. That's something that came out of that focus group and said, we need more PR. We need to know how to communicate with our communities better. And so, we didn't even have to do anything. It was already on its way. So we just said, yes, thank you. And you'll see training coming out about that specifically. Member development. We've talked about new club building. John has offered that there will be a team working on a new club here in the Cardinal district. In the Chesapeake district, we hope to do more than one club over the next year, but we're going to start with our family club. That'll be most likely in the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia. So if you know of any young families or families in general, that concept will be based around the family, that it's not going to be Joann as an individual member. It's going to be Joe, Joann, and anybody that's connected to them and any children that are living in their household. So not the 16, 18 grandkids, kids, whatever else they have. Their whole brood is not necessarily going to be the family. It's kind of that immediate family. So parents and kids, because we understand that a lot of families don't have the time to take away from their kids. They want to be with their kids. They want to do service with their kids. And it's really important that they are Civitans as a family. So we're going to test that out, see if it works. If it doesn't, we'll find something else and do that. Anyway, so that's going to happen within the next year. And then another great suggestion that came out was around IDD fairs. And I know Leandra's with us in the back. She's had some success with going to fairs that are focused on the IDD community and having a table there and using this opportunity to recruit and get the word about Civitan out there. So you'll hear more about that. And then of course, relationship building training that Joann talked about, that's coming. So keep your eyes out for that. Philanthropy. This group had a ton of great ideas. And what I loved about their ideas is that we didn't have to do any of them. We literally took them and said to Civitan International, I don't think Scarlett's on here, and I'm sure she didn't expect to have a whole laundry list of things that we needed them to help us with. But they were incredibly gracious when we took our priority list to them. We said, this is our wish list, and they said yes. So look for all of these things. They're talking about how to support us as we do our corporate nonprofit partnership outreach, like the ARCs and other corporate partners that we can establish. Giving opportunities. I know there's a lot of giving opportunities, and a lot of people not really sure about, I'm giving to the President's Council and Light the Way, and there's all this stuff, and I don't really understand what each one of them and how they're different. So there's going to be some clarification there. It's a great idea I think Ginger was the one that kind of spearheaded this one about the one gift campaign, meaning you give one gift and you get to allocate where it all goes. But you don't have to, nickel and dime every single gift. It's like junior Civitan. Okay, did I give to that yet? Light the way. Did I make my contribution yet? It is one, you decide what works for you, and then you get to pick where each part of that gift goes. So hopefully that'll simplify giving. And so that's something Civitan International is really excited about. You should see that. Spontaneous donor recognition. We just wanted to make sure that our donors, especially those that don't travel to convention, are recognized in ways that are unique and special. We thought that would, kind of share the gratitude that we have for those of us that give, but also in a way that is a little bit surprising and unexpected, because we know those are more fun and usually very, very cherished. And then President's Council autograph campaign. President's Council has gone through its own evolution. And I think a lot of people have gotten kind of lost in that. And can I sign up for autograph? Can I not? Did I give yet? I don't know. Letters came, emails came. I don't know if it's right or not. So we suggested that they do a campaign just to get everybody to be able to easily sign on, pick their autographed option so that they can set it and forget it, as they say. And then lastly, GuideStar Charity Navigator. That is a great opportunity for us as we're going out and recruiting members and potential corporate sponsors for them to do a little research on Civitan International. So these are two platforms that kind of rank nonprofits in the way that they manage their money and funds. And so we ask them to make that a priority as we're going out and into our communities and talking about Civitan, that we can point them back and say, you want to see how well this organization is run. That's a great place to check. So that is that. It's a lot. Okay, member engagement. So member engagement, as I said, community impact. So you've got an opportunity, you'll have an opportunity for a March 2023 campaign for all of us as an entire region, all of our clubs, to have Civitan Days of Service. So you'll use that month to kind of pick a service project or multiple ones if you'd like, to be able to kind of coordinate together, and we'll be able to share, we'll do training around how do you create partnerships, how do you create those service projects that are meaningful through partnerships that engage members and make a significant impact in your community. So you'll see some resources and training around that, but we'll launch it. The impact area grants are a great opportunity to get some funding for that competition through Civitan International. And then, like I said, tips and tricks on how to do that successfully. So all that is coming. New member orientation, you heard from Joann, that's something the PR firm is working on, because we realize that it's not consistent across all of our clubs. It's based on kind of who's the leader and what each club did and the messaging. And a lot of people were saying, well, I've been a member for 5 years. I didn't even know we had a research center. So just kind of making that a little bit more streamlined so that it's not dependent on the club necessarily, and people that transition to that, but more about what Civitan International can share with each new member so that they know exactly what they're joining and why it's a great organization. And then just overall Civitan education, so you'll kind of see some of those resources coming out. Junior Civitan, they already shared. And next. All right, so consolidation update. Where are we? What's going to happen? And what does this mean? So obviously you can see we are looking forward to becoming one fabulous district. So a lot of people have been saying, is the name going to change? The name was officially declared by the board on Monday. I missed that meeting, but I did hear the recording. So I believe it's the Region 4 District is the official name of the district, I believe. Yes. Okay. I'm doing confirmation. So Region 4 District is what the name will be. We'll all be under that. And maybe later we'll come up with a cool different name, but for right now, just for simplicity, that's what each region district is going to be. You just get a number. We are currently, your transition team includes John and Tony and Kendra and Ginger and Donna, our treasurer at Chesapeake, and I think Jeannie and Carmen are part of that, although not necessarily as much because they're already halfway down the road since they started earlier. But basically, as Kendra said, we just did this last year with New England. It was seamless. We thought it was going to take 6 months. I've heard districts that took a year, 18 months to go through this process. I think we were like 60 days. It was done.
6 hours.
Yeah, and we're all on the 6 hours, but different things that happen in different timelines. But truly, it was very seamless. It was very easy. It was a non-event, honestly. And we kind of look at Cardinal District as the exact same because there's just so many synergies that are already there. We're very similar in a lot of ways culturally and just kind of how we do things and what we care about. So we hope that that'll be the same, but it seemingly looks like it's going to be that way. So we're targeting for an October 1st launch date for all of these things to be completed. There may be a couple little items that, bank accounts and things like that need to still be worked out, but the majority of it, our focus is to have it done by September 30th. Any questions about that? Yes, ma'am.
I thought we were going from district to region. So it would be involved in district.
Yes, ma'am. That is a really good question. So the question was for Zoom, I thought we were going from a district to a region. And that was the intent. If the bylaws proposal would have passed, that would have given us the organizational structure to be able to go from districts into regions with the leadership council. It was all kind of baked into that document, into that bylaw change. Because it did not pass, we had to kind of look at our existing bylaws and say, what structure can we do from a consolidation? The board has always had the ability to consolidate districts, but it cannot eliminate them in the current bylaws. So that's why it's a consolidation down to, some people call it like a super district, because it's one district of all of the previous districts kind of combined together. So if the bylaws would have passed, it would have made it a lot more streamlined and easy, but it didn't make it impossible. We still were able to accomplish the majority of what we needed to do that. Great question. Thank you. Ken.
I guess my understanding would be it's an evolution. It's a step, an intermediate step, because ultimately we know we're going to the regional structure. When it passes, we know it's going to pass sooner or later at the international convention, right? So, I mean, that's going to be the goal, right?
Yeah, so Ken, zoom in. Ken just said that this is kind of an intermediary step between going from our existing structure to what will eventually be the new structure once the bylaws pass. Whenever that happens, under a committee that is not led by my husband, Mark Eisinger, because he gave 3 years of his life and he is not giving it more. But hopefully he did enough framework and foundation that the next person will be able to take that. And to your point, Ken, yes, it'll be a lot easier. And just maybe with a few tweaks or, after some folks see how great this is really going to be and how much more efficient and effective we're going to be to run the organization, that it'll make them more comfortable to go ahead and make the vote change. And to Joanne's point, I mean, it literally was a 50-50 split. It was 19 votes of difference. So half of the organization was ready to move forward with this. The other half just, I think, was wait and see, not really sure, not really confident. And that's okay. It gave us a lot of information on what our next steps need to be. And it's to go ahead and do what organizationally is needed to do, but at the same time, doing it with the structure, giving people the opportunity to kind of take their steps and make sure it works for them. So thank you, Ken. Great point. Any other questions? All right. Connect to Thrive. I'm so excited about this. So, as we know, district meetings, district board meetings, all of that kind of goes away in this structure, right? There's no more, governors, governor-elects, chairs, area directors. So how do we, some of us are clapping in the room. But those, having that, what was really important about that was having people have the opportunity to connect, talk to each other, get to know each other, create a network of people that were going to be able to support each other. So in order to keep that part of what the districts typically did, and more effectively probably before there was emails and Facebook and all of that, we can do a lot of that now through some of the new modernized communication mechanisms. But I wanted to make sure that we still had an opportunity to do that, because I know that through connection, people thrive. When people don't feel connected, that's when they don't feel supported and cannot be their best. So I wanted to create an opportunity. So every month we will have a Connect to Thrive meeting. And so how these meetings are going to operate is we're going to invite club presidents, and they are welcome to invite anybody in their club to join. Especially if it's somebody that's passionate about one of the two areas that will be discussed in each meeting. But the way that this is going to work is it's going to be a completely virtual meeting. It'll be, like I said, once a month for everybody to kind of come together, have an opportunity to get to know each other. So that'll be the first part, because that's the most important, is as we come together, kind of who are each of you, and what can we do to help support each of you? So, and we know that by connecting, we'll get there. So we're gonna also share successes. We wanna hear what's going great, those best practices. If somebody just had an amazing fundraiser or had an amazing recruitment event or a service project that they wanna share because it changed people's lives, that's the stuff we really wanna focus on. But in the same time, we know that, we're here to support each other. So if there's challenges that you're facing, if there's an issue that one of you wants to kind of use the group to process and kind of get ideas on how to resolve those, that's a great forum to be able to do that. So, and then what we'll do, because as you saw, there are 6 different leadership councils, there's 3 months and a quarter. So do the math to each one. So each meeting, there will be an opportunity for 2 of the leadership council chairs to be able to come and kind of give an update about what's going on in their focus area to keep you informed, and they'll be coming and asking for questions, feedback to be able to help them do a better job. So please, I encourage you to join these calls once they're set up. And as you heard, International has so many amazing, cool trainings and drop-in Zooms and all of that, and you'll learn more about those and keep you up to date on those in this meeting. So encourage you to do that. With that, it is now your time to talk. So the one question I have is, does this meet your needs? Is there anything else that you would like to see in these that is not listed? Number one, and number two, getting an idea of what dates and times work best. I know everybody's kind of got a crazy schedule. I work full time as well, plus run 2 businesses, plus serve on like 10 different nonprofit boards. I don't know why, but I do. And so I know, getting the right time, will make it more possible for me to participate. And I'm sure many of you, share that. You have a lot of other commitments. So is it weekdays or weekends? So if I say it's going to be on a weekday, who is more apt to participate?
You mean a virtual meeting?
It'll be virtual, yes.
Is
Yeah.
that a day or an evening?
That's next. That's a good question, and that's next. So if a weekday, if somebody, so you prefer a weekday or a weekend? So weekday, you prefer a weekday. All right, that's pretty good. You prefer a weekend, Saturday or Sunday? Weekday it is. Sorry, guys, one of you is retired, and one I think probably should be, but could be. That's what I meant to say. Because you've done so much in your career. Okay, so then, now that we know it's weekday, middle of the day, morning, evening. So let's go each of those. And if all 3 of those work for you, raise your hand for all 3. So let's start with morning. So that would be like maybe 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 or 9 before we get out of bed. You're retired.
Yeah. Between 8 and 12.
Between 8 and 12. All right. 8 to 12. Okay, some of you. 12 to 5. Or let's say 1 to 5. Nobody's gonna say too much. 1 to 5. All right. 5 to 9. Evenings it is.
Not Monday.
Thank you. So yes, yes, we will not pick a Monday or a Friday because we're going to have them holidays and long weekend. So it will be between a Tuesday to Thursday, and it will be in the evening. Would people prefer it to be the same week and the same night every single month? So it's consistent, or would you prefer it to be 1 month it's on Tuesday, the next month it's on Wednesday, and the next month it's on Thursday? Because some of you have club meetings that potentially could,
They could attend as a club.
you could attend as a club. That is absolutely correct. Yeah, so what we'll try to do, I hear you, Helen, and I think there may be an opportunity to get more participation and move it around. But just for the first quarter, we will pick one day, consistently for the first quarter. We'll see how that works. If that does not work for you, please reach out to me and let me know that. Because again, this is about you. It is not about me. It's not about our leadership council. We want to support you in the way that works best. So please let us know if something isn't working. Don't, wait and say, oh, I'll get her at the next leadership meeting or whatever. No, tell me immediately because we will fix it. It needs to be for you. All right, so that is all of my presentation, other than Kendra's going to pass out my cards. I am someone who absolutely loves to talk, as you can clearly see, but I love to connect with people. It is one of the things that gets me out of bed every morning and gets me pumped, is knowing that I have the ability to connect with other people all day, every day. So please use that opportunity to connect with me. My email and my cell phone number is on that. Although, like Joann, I do work, so I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. If I don't get back to you immediately, I know John texts me, a ton of times, and unfortunately, there are very specific times that I can respond to certain things with, all the commitments that I have. But it does matter to me. I will get back to you, and I do want to hear from you. So please reach out if you have any questions, any ideas. Just shoot me a text if it's a crazy idea that you think we should try, because no idea is crazy until you throw it on the wall and see if it fits. All right, any questions, anything else? All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you. I cannot tell you how much it means to me every time I get to log into a board meeting and represent all of you and the amazing things that you are. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We are going to have way too much fun.
No such thing as too much fun.
No, absolutely.
Okay, we're nearing the close. Tony, this is your chance to tell it like it is, or should be, or could have been, or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
About 6 months ago, I was in limbo. Today, I'm excited. I've had the opportunity to meet in focus groups and meeting on Zoom, a number of the people you see here. And at first, at the beginning, we all heard, I think from last year, we all watched the convention. A lot of us were down, because some of us voted no, or I voted for John's proposal. And I just couldn't see us separating as a Cardinal district. But after I got to know and meet our friends, our family from the Chesapeake, I realized this is amazing, because I think you all seen today and last night how close we became. Okay. And I got goosebumps right now. Okay. I don't prepare notes. Like when you saw my video about dreamers, I said that right from my heart. I had no notes. I didn't even prepare for it. Because I'm the type of person who don't like to write notes and don't like to read notes. I speak right from my heart. And my heart says, this is a great opportunity to grow our Civitan. All of our clubs are different. We do what we think is right in our community. So no matter what happens, as a club, we're going to continue to do our thing. What's important, okay, when we unite, we provide the resources, we're stronger. Okay, I'm excited to be, I've applied for the marketing position because my background has always been in sales, even though I have an engineering degree. I started with IBM when I got out of Vietnam, selling. They taught me to market. I marketed myself and IBM to Marathon Oil. So I got into Findlay, Ohio from Pittsburgh. I'm in Dayton, Ohio now. I'm with a company that I retired with 20 years ago. Do I look like I've been retired 20 years?
No.
Believe me, 30 years with a company out of Dayton's family. And when I first met them, it was in 1972. I went for an interview from Cleveland. I was with IBM. And I said to my wife, you know, I'm going to go to Findlay. I already got a job off from Memorex. So I just want to see what they want to do. When I went there, they were family. The CEO was, this is a big company in Findlay and Dayton, Ohio. Everybody was on a first name basis. And I had a who knows what a T-square is? When you put all the pros and cons. Well, not only did I hear all my pros, there were a few cons, and I accepted. It was the best decision in my career. Got me into Ohio. I ended up as a sales director in Boston. I had all of upstate New York, as well as all of New England. 13 years there, they moved me to Dayton. And I feel very confident that what we're doing here is very similar, okay? So my heart goes out to Civitan, to all of my Cardinal district people, because we have built such a great community here. And I can see with Denise, Joann, Kendra, and all the other Civitans in the Chesapeake being the best region Civitan will ever have. Our club was 100 years old last October. We're going to be 101 October 25th. I'm 82. We have some members who were there when our club was chartered. I want to see more members like Kendra. Yeah. Energy. You know, Carol's dad was in Civitan in Dayton. Carol is one of the strongest Civitans I know. You know, and I know she brought John into the fold. And he does whatever she says. That's why he is a great Civitan. But all I can say is our clubs are going to be better because we're going to provide the resources. I'm going to make it a point that we all understand that Civitan is no longer going to be the hidden name. It's going to be the front name. Okay? And you all have to have an attitude. I learned in sales, the most important thing that you can bring to the table is attitude. No matter how bad the situation is, if your attitude is down, you'll stay down. But if you're in a bad situation, you keep a positive attitude, things will get better. Okay? And I think I just rang my bell. But remember, Civitan does great things in our community, no matter what club you're with. Now, on a side note, buy your ducks from us. Our club committed to $2,500 for supporting a great organization called United Rehabilitation Services.
Yeah.
And make sure, even if it's $5, every dollar helps. Okay? You're not only helping yourself do a good thing, you're helping a great organization, you're helping our club meet its goal. And we are having our 100th anniversary celebration September 17th. So if you want an invitation, I'll email it. It'll be a great event. Thank you so much.
Yay.
We have a big individual here, John. Al, you want to come up here?
No. Feel the love.
All right, John, let's get out front here. So everybody can see us. John has been a great governor. He actually has done most of the work, except he sits by the sidelines. But I want to tell you, John, Elle and I have something we want to give to you. You've been giving out the awards all day. John, Elle, come over here, you're past governor.
This is what I do.
I did say we need 2 awards for presentation. They didn't do it. One was for the last governor and the last governor-elect award. But they didn't do that for the Cardinal district. So, John.
Last effort. Need another photo opportunity?
Yeah.
Okay, get it back together. Tony? Tony? Al? Another photo op. Need them all again.
Go back to that.
They want a picture. I got the old fashioned camera. So
Oh, I got it.
Is that a film in it?
it's a digital one.
Okay.
All right, here you go. Good Denise. All right, you ready?
We need to be somewhere else?
I need you guys to stay where you are, and when they're done, look at me. Okay, you ready for me?
Cheese.
Oh, perfect.
Al, you need white hair.
I do know why here, that's why it's all gone.
I want to thank you for this.
Okay. Stand by. We have a closer. Last words. I'm not good at last words. I'm good at lots of words. I'm good at last words. This has been the most amazing adventure to be governor of this district twice. The people that have come together and done so many things. All the people that have pitched in, signed up, and helped out. Thanks to all of you for coming, for the district meetings you've come to before. But you know, I think looking ahead to what has been presented by Joann and Denise, you ain't seen nothing yet. You just ain't seen nothing yet. We have an opportunity because of the structure and technology to collaborate as we've never done before, and the responsibility to do so. If you're going to do something, you need to think it through. One of the points that I talked to Scarlett and Mary Fran about the other day was a couple things that I saw at the International Convention. One is that you need to really connect, with people. If you're serving a group of people, then you need to know who else is serving them and how they work and connect with them. I've heard conversations where we want to help you by doing this. Well, there's the golden rule in our creed that says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. There is the platinum rule that you might have heard about that says, do unto others as they would have you do unto them. So if I give you my favorite cookie, that's one thing. But if I give you your favorite cookie, that's probably going to be received better. So we need to identify these groups, find a few. You can't be everything to everybody, but build the relationships. And that's why Scarlett put that in. And just, connect. There was another point, and it'll come back to me tonight. I'll try like 2 a.m. But, to just, to find out what it is and connect and be that relationship. Give them what they want and connect with people. Those are the two. I got them both. You don't have to wait for my call. But this again, this has been such a fantastic thing. And I want to just one other thing.
John.
Sure.
Oh, no way he's gonna get this. Yeah, you are.
You sneak.
Yeah, that baseball analogy, she has caught an awful lot of really wild pitches. She has put an awful lot of things together. She makes me look a whole lot better than anybody else could.
Son. As I rode with you, and this was not the car.
Yes, I know.
After John finishes, I want a picture with Denise and Joann and Ginger and Kendra and Tony and Al. We need that picture, and Crystal, because you're in that sequence too. I want to see that picture together. So after this is all finished, that's the picture that we need. Thank you for the flowers.
Dream work.
Okay, Tony,
Right here.
it's our turn to read the creed. In the past, there was like a passing of the flame. And I would read the first half, and then we would read the middle together, and he would read the end. But since this is it, we will read the creed together in unison, or at least as much unison as we can write. I am Civitan, as old as life, as young as a rainbow, as endless as time. My hands to the work of the world and reach out in service to others. My ears hear the cry of children and the call throughout the world of peace, guidance, progress, and unity. My eyes search for others to join in the fellowship and service of Civitan. My mouth utters the call to daily duty and speaks prayers in every tongue. My mind teaches me respect for the law and the flag of my country. My heart beats for every friend, bleeds for every injury to humanity, and throbs with joy at every triumph of truth. My soul knows no fear, but its own unworthiness. My hope is for a better world through Civitan. My motto, builders of good citizenship. My belief, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. My pledge, to practice the golden rule and build upon it a better and nobler citizenship. Thank you all, and God bless.
You break it, you buy it. Thank you, the council. You want to say bye to everybody on Zoom land? President-elect?
Bye to everybody on Zoom land. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Bye. Goodbye.